Welcome, welcome everybody. Today I'm going to enjoy what I'm doing. You know, the hard work is over. The people are placed, and some parts I cannot do anymore because my hand is too shaky for the little features. And Kenny said to me, Mom, just make it beautiful. Make it be a magnificent painting. Don't do any little faces. Because at 95, your hand is not that steady. Am I loud enough?
Hey folks, is the Hetty loud enough? I'm wondering if I should turn off the fan. So if somebody could let us know if you hear her clearly, that would be fabulous. Martha's here.
Hi.
Amy says yes, they hear you clearly. So you are good. Carol says yes. So
Perfect.
Completely good. Oh, Martha's in the car with Mike and grandbaby Madison. Wanted to say hi. And Phyllis says yes, and Denise says she hears perfectly. So you are perfectly good to go.
Perfect. Should I begin?
Begin.
Okay, Kenny, then let me first go over here and explain what I cannot do here. You know, I'm talking about the people here, which I already did.
Yes.
And I'm going to do it in such a way that you'll be able to anticipate who I'm doing and who I'm not. The Teresa Foundation I must speak about. These two faces, one of them is going to be Vince and one is Susan. They had a child, little Teresa. And Eric and I admired that family so, because little Teresa was born with a lot of difficulties. And the other children showed what I wish we could teach to the world. They took care of her. In many cases, if a child looks different, the sisters and brothers make believe they don't own that person. Not the Rosa family. They protected and loved her. And I wanted to get the features perfectly, but I couldn't because they would have to be so tiny. And so I was going to paste little photographs of the children. And Kenny said, no, you can't, Mom. And I said, yes, I can. That's done in art. People do that. And he spoke to the Russos, and they agreed with him. They didn't want that. So I am going to try, and vaguely, on certain days when my fingers are better than other times, I will do that. But in the meantime, here are the children. And this is the drawing the children made. And this is going to be Susan, and this is going to be Vince. Okay?
Beautiful.
Right now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just make things beautiful.
Which you
means,
have done. You've made the painting so vibrant.
Okay.
So vibrant.
But I had my glasses somewhere, and I don't see. Here they are. Let me start on this spot right here. Okay? This is when I had a stroke and I broke my right arm when I fell and my right hip. And I was in Park Avenue Rehab in Long Beach. and met these wonderful people. This is one of the doctors. How do I beautify right now? I take this brush, because the brushes matter a lot. And I'm going to enhance his face. By the background. Now here is a story of finishing the painting. I had promised Johanna that the painting would be ready at the end of this month. I lied. But so what I am doing instead, I'm doing what Kenny said. He said, just make the painting beautiful. If you can't finish a little face, don't worry about it. But use colors that make it beautiful. So that's what I'm doing. First of all, I'm going to let his face show up. And later on, I'm going to show you the drawing I made of him. And that I worked from. But now I'm beautifying, and you will see him. Because he's there. I'm going to give this man the blanket over his fingers, because I need these colors. And this is the joy when everything is already in. And now you can make it beautiful, as Kenny told me to. And later on, not today, but when the painting is done, I'll show you all the drawings that I made in order to work for them. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good.
So Dory said artistic license. Speaking about the Teresa wall. And Beth Ruland is watching. And Amy Rick said the painting is magnificent. Martha says so beautiful. Mary Nix says watching. Hi everyone.
And now I'm going to tell you what will happen with the painting. First, what I did was I asked for Johanna for help. Johanna is amazing. Johanna has an organization called Artists in Partnership. And we're going to be making prints of the painting. And there's the other prints that I used to make was when Eric was alive, and we had a business called Follow Your Art. And people working for us who could do the work. Now, it would be all up to me. The Hansons did our other prints, and they are no longer living in Long Beach, and they have put their machines in storage. So I called Johanna. I said, what do I do? Because I knew there's no way I could do it myself. At 95, and even at 93 at that time, there was no way I could do it. And Kenny came up with the idea, and he said, why don't we speak to Johanna and say we want to do the prints, but Hetty can't do it. Neither can we. And if we let Johanna do the work, find the people, have the prints made, and every penny of this will go to Artists in Partnership as a thank you. But also it makes it possible for us to sell and make prints.
Yes, yes.
And I am so grateful.
Yeah, she opened a door that no one else was able to open.
Yeah.
Kathy is watching. Mary Nix is watching, says hi everyone. Martha says so beautiful. Actually, I did that already.
So,
but if anybody has any questions about what Hetty's painting or her technique or her strategy, feel free to ask those.
and I'll answer immediately.
Yes, she will.
Mainly, I'm doing what Kenny said. Mom, your hands can no longer do what they used to do when you began this painting. So, do what you can and just make it be glorious. And I can do that. I'm establishing 3 dimensions by making lights and darks. But mainly what I'm doing is I'm having fun.
Now you have a few questions. Mary Nix, by the way, says, I remember Follow Your Art. And Martha Bilski says, do you do drawings for each person before you paint them?
Whenever I'm allowed, yes.
Whenever you're allowed.
And there I have to thank Eddie. Let me show you Eddie, who allowed me to live differently. Eddie used to visit me on Wednesdays. These 2 people are Eddie's friends. That's Eileen Cutler and Paula. And they said, Eddie and Joni have to meet because they have similar thoughts and they should work together. And we did. Eddie used to come on Wednesday mornings and ask questions. And in return of my answering, he sat still and let me draw him. And I learned how to draw without rushing. Because up to then I had drawn people who didn't know I was drawing them.
Mm.
And so I lost what I never had until Eddie.
Mm.
Eddie sat and posed. In return, he asked me questions. And he did my life history. And said, I'm doing this for your children, so that they will have your story. And he did. And in return, he gave me the joy of painting, of drawing, without a time schedule.
Mm. So some questions.
Good.
Kathy Lahan Hawthorne says, "Hey, Hetty." Mary Nick says, "I remember you followed your art."
Kenny, I can't hear you.
Kathy says, "Hi, Hetty." Mary Nix says, "I remember follow your art." Martha Bilski says, "Do you do drawings for each person before you paint them?"
If I'm allowed to, yes.
And when did you start doing this painting?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
2.5 years ago?
I don't remember. I don't count time. And that's a question I'm asked so often. But I really don't remember. See, I'm going to do this now. I'm doing what Kenny said. Just make it beautiful. So, I'm changing his shirt because I need these colors here.
Wow, that's really bright.
This is obeying Kenny is the fun part. When I've done somebody already in a painting, then I do them from the back. In the second one. Because I don't have enough room for other people otherwise.
Some questions here. Martha Bilski says, "Do you do drawings for each person before you paint them?" And Phyllis said, "When did you start this painting?"
Martha, you've been my friend for so many years. And during those years, whenever I visited you, you were in the process of starting 10 other things while you were in the middle of the first. I learned from you. It's what I do. While I'm doing a painting, I'm doing other things. Drawings. And when people say, "How long did it take you to do this painting?" I say, I don't know. Because in between, I did drawings and thinking. The thinking takes the most time.
So, let's see. John Deracuso is sending love. Martha Bilski says, do you have a specific palette? Or do you deviate whenever you want? How do you pick them when you start?
I have a specific palette. And those are the colors I love.
Oh, what's the palette?
See, can you see this here?
Where is it?
Here.
Oh, that palette. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant a ready-made palette. That's your palette.
Yeah.
Got it.
And I do the colors the same way all the time.
So, Hetty, have you ever had your portrait painted? Has another artist ever tried to capture you in paint?
This is me.
But that would have been you catching it. You did it.
I did it.
Yeah.
And this is going to be Kenny, and this is going to be Greg, this is Joni, and this is Eric when he was a little boy, and his mother Anna. And this was when we left Vienna, done from a photograph. My mother, me, my father, my brother Richie. And I'll introduce you to the animals. Okay?
Let me just see. Jack looks great in that color, and I love the balance of the painting. Martha Bilski, so many years, and I love you madly. Sandy says, good evening, and Aunt Hetty, and love you. Martha Bilski, we are deep thinkers. Sandy, it looks so beautiful, your painting. Martha, I need to come and watch you. Fran and Hernan are watching. Martha Bilski, I have thousands of pictures. Martha Bilski, of Hetty. Kathy LaHon Cawthorn says, I see you love autumn colors. Green, gold, red, and some blues.
What I'm doing now, I'm putting highlights on. In other words, I need to lead your eye.
Mm.
And that's the joy of it.
Martha says I have thousands of pictures of Hetty. Kathy says, I see you love autumn colors, gold, red, green, and some blues. And Kina says, it's great to see you, Hetty.
You know what? If I could have my life the way I want it to be, being 95 would mean having the physical strength of an 18-year-old. But I can't ask for that because there's nobody to give it to me. Science hasn't discovered it yet.
But it would be wonderful.
It would be heaven. It would be heaven. I have to make her hair lighter, which it really isn't, but the painting needs it. Do you see what I mean? And these two are getting lighter hair. because I need it.
You get to do whatever you want now.
I'm obeying Kenny. Kenny said, Mom, make it wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I am not doing the difficult parts when I'm doing this, because I have to think for the difficult parts. And the difficult parts is the resemblances when your hand is shaky.
Mm.
I want to say one more thing. I've been asked constantly, what will you do with the painting? And because of what Eric had wanted me to do a painting of who we really are, because history books, as he said, will only speak of the terrible things. They'll speak of the Holocaust. They'll speak of slavery. They'll speak of World War. They will speak of people buying powerful weapons and shooting children in school. But that's not all of us. And he said, do a painting. Let's do a painting showing the kindness of people that we know. And so, everyone in here, I will talk about specific acts of kindness and why I picked them. And next week, I will speak of each person by telling what made me put them into the painting. Okay? And how, because of Facebook and because of YouTube, the whole world will see these on Monday nights on Facebook, but because of YouTube, in the world, no matter where. And that is the biggest gift that the world has given Eric and me, so people will know of these. And I will begin and tell you acts of kindness of every person that is here. Okay? Thank you. And I love you all.